Good afternoon, everybody. Today is not my day. My dog messed up the first take. Third take, my mom got home from work and came to do some more work, but she didn't know I was back here. And then somebody just called me in the middle of this last one. So, we're going to put the phone on airplane mode. Everybody in my house knows I'm here. The dogs aren't in here. Here we go. This video is going to be more focused on COVID-19. Some new stuff came out today, and so with some new numbers and some restrictions and how stuff has changed. So I am going to read a little bit of an article that Caleb wrote on June 26th, just because I think later in the video you'll see why I read it. It kind of relates back to some things that I took away from the Sweetwater County Public Health press conference and what I've seen with the governor's new guidelines. So not really guidelines, they're the same guidelines, they've just been extended. So as the numbers of COVID-19 cases rise, officials are concerned about direct and indirect consequences. To reduce the spread, the public is reminded of the importance and impact of simple steps like wearing facial coverings and maintaining distances. On June 25, Wyoming had 36 new laboratory confirmed positive cases, the largest single day total the state has seen since the first case of COVID-19 was reported in March. Uintah, Fremont, and Teton counties have the highest rate of confirmed cases per 100,000 residents. When it comes to confirmed cases, the top counties are, as pressed of time, Fremont counties with 312, Laramie with 149, Uintah with 130, Natrona with 93, Teton with 86, and Sweetwater with 73. The trend is not limited to Wyoming, as the United States reported 40,000 new cases on Thursday, an all-time high. The Associated Press reported the count of new confirmed infections provided by Johns Hopkins University eclipsed the previous high of 36,400 set on April 24th during one of the deadliest stretches. Newly reported cases per day have risen on average about 60% over the past 2 weeks, according to an AP analysis. So, not good. Everything's rising still. We're still climbing the roller coaster. Hopefully, guys, we got to get this figured out sooner rather than later, and I hope we do. So, meantime, just follow the guidelines, do what you need to do to stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll get through this eventually. Just keep your head up. Okay, now before I jump into the other COVID stuff, I'm going to cover the County Visitor Center opens with a grand opening celebration on July 1st. So, Sweetwater County Travel and Tourism will open a new Explore Rock Springs and Green River Visitor Center on July 1st at 1641 Elk Street in Rock Springs. A grand opening celebration is scheduled from 4 to 6 p.m. on July 1st with tours and free goodie bags for those in attendance. The new Visitor Center will serve as a hub to provide information on the attractions and amenities, the attractions in the county, and encourage visitors to extend their stay in the area. We were excited when the opportunity became available for us to move our office to Elk Street and be able to provide visitor services at this busy intersection off of Interstate 80. We look forward to being able to engage with visitors that are traveling from the national parks of Wyoming and showcase everything that is great about Rock Springs and Green River. Janessa Meredith, Executive Director of Sweetwater County Travel and Tourism, said in a press release. The new visitor center on Elk Street will be in addition to the Rock Springs and Green River Chamber Visitor Centers, and will operate with the same focus. Sweetwater County Travel and Tourism has partnered with and provided funding to both Chamber of Commerce for decades and will continue those partnerships to provide visitors with quality experiences in the area. So, if you got people coming into town to visit after July 1st, go check out the Visitor Center. Should be pretty cool. Pretty exciting stuff. So on to the COVID-19 numbers for the state, and then I'm going to jump into some of the stuff I heard here in the press conference. Lab confirmed cases are at 1,151 cases. 843 of those are recovered. There's 299 probable cases, with 227 of those recovered, and there are still 20 deaths in the state. If I could scroll, that would be nice. That would be very helpful, but I can't. Okay, perfect. Can't scroll. Nice. So some of the things I heard in the Sweetwater County Public Health press conference, Jason Maurer said that from June 21st to June 28th, so this past week, there was 28 lab confirmed cases in Sweetwater County. So, and that's right now, I believe he said that was an all-time high for June anyway. But there was four new cases today in Sweetwater County. So, and he emphasized that they're not trying to politicize this like how some of the other places have. And another thing was when they were talking about the quarantine orders, even if you test negative after you have a quarantine order issued to you, you still have to serve the 14 days. And if you don't serve the 14 days, that is a misdemeanor and you can get in some trouble for that. So if you are put into quarantine and you test negative, just stay in quarantine so that way you don't get in trouble. So yeah, just use your head there. Dr. Karn, pathology at Sweetwater County Memorial Hospital, said that they have drive-through testing at the hospital there for anybody who it's the nasal swabs. They're looking at saliva swabs right now. I don't know how those are. They're not sure. They don't know enough about them yet. And she also brought up something that relates back to the first article I read that Caleb wrote. She talked about the life flight with U of U, and me and Caleb talked about it on the phone. That's an indirect consequence to this. Right now, if numbers keep rising, our hospital still has to look at the University of Utah's numbers, because if somebody gets in a serious car accident on the interstate and needs to be life flighted, what if U of U doesn't have enough beds in ICU for that person? So right now, an indirect consequence could possibly be that there's no life flighting. So, and they talked about how the hospital in Rock Springs can do a lot, but they can't do everything. So that's why we have the life flight. But right now that's an indirect consequence, and there's going to be more to come. So that should be, that's going to be interesting. I hope that we get this under control sooner rather than later, so the impact of those indirect consequences, such as the life flighting, are minimized. And that way, if, God forbid, somebody gets in a serious car accident and they need to be life flighted, then they don't need to worry about there's not enough beds here, we have too many COVID patients. Sorry, you're going to have to figure it out there. So hopefully they'll get that figured out, and I'll have a little bit better update on that later. On to the governor's stuff that he said today. Basically, what I gathered from it all was all the same guidelines that he's had in place are still in place, but they've been extended through July 15th. So, gyms, limited capacity, movie theaters have to have proper spacing. Same with schools, colleges and universities can't have a gathering of more than 50 students and teachers combined. And if they do, they need to be able to have be able to distance from one another. If you can't distance, you're required to wear a mask. And I can go through some of this stuff here. So the first one is restaurants and stuff. All patrons must be seated at tables. Tables are limited to groups of 6. And tables need to be at least 6 feet apart. So those have all kind of been the same. A lot of this stuff has just been extended. Going through them, there's not really any changes that have been made. Today he just extended them through July 15th. So just be prepared to follow those orders still. In fact, I know the university of Wyoming. I have some friends in a program that their program got moved to all online classes. And I actually were talking about it, and we wouldn't be surprised to see it go back to fully online for the fall. With the way, with the uptick still, 60% new cases every day. That's another indirect consequence of COVID or direct consequence, I don't know. Anyway, it's a consequence of COVID is, having to do work from home, go to school online. But with these guidelines here, I wouldn't be surprised to see those extended even further. We get to July 13th, 14th, and nothing's changed. They're going to get extended. Until we get this under control in our state and start to flatten the curve, I think these guidelines are going to stay in place and they're going to be extended. And it's going to be a totally different thing when August comes for places like Albany County, Sweetwater County, Laramie County, where there are colleges and having people come in from different places. I know the university, I think it's going to be pretty interesting, having people come in from all over the world. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that, but I would not be surprised to see places go back to online. So I guess what I'm trying to say too is don't get your hopes up. Things are changing rapidly, but from the numbers that I've been seeing anyways, we're not getting a grasp on this. So for things to change, I wouldn't expect restrictions to be lifted. I would expect them to get more strict. So just be prepared for that and do your part to keep everybody safe and flatten the curve. That's all I got for today. I think I got everything. Looking at my notes, I did. But hope everybody has a great Monday and great rest of your week. I don't know, maybe I'll see you tomorrow or Friday. Not really sure. So have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you next time.